pale pink background showed an opaque set of letters below the screen. Each letter moved upwards, stopped in the center, then went left and right, and the words formed Chrissy Bista. Name is in white font with dark pink giant shadow behind it. It stretched sideways and went back to its real form. Letters rotated quickly into 90-degree motion and lined up vertically in the screen, then fused themselves together, transformed into letter I, which looked a human stick figure. Letter I glided towards the right and moved backward to the left, and revealed the word, matter. The word because rushed upward the screen in triangular bouncing motion, then it fell down. From the upper section of the screen, incomplete word inclusion bounced down and pushed the word matter downwards and stopped at the right side of letter I. Letter S popped up from the right and glided beside letter R. Title reads,
I matter!
Because inclusion matters.
Brown Bag Sessions through video podcast.
Hello everyone! Thank you for tuning in to ASEAN Enabling Master Plan I Matter segment. And today, it's May 1, so we're celebrating in the Philippines Labor Day. And gusto namin magkaroon ng, ayoko naman sabing napaka-special episode, pero I'd like to say na this is a very timely episode dahil we will talk about persons with disabilities bilang untapped workforce at ang workforce na hindi masyado nabibigyan ng atensyon, hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng pansin, hindi masyadong napag-uusapan. But there's actually so much more about persons with disabilities being good employees and very productive workers. So my guest tayo today, he's a very good friend of ours and fellow advocate din natin. He may not have a disability but we're very proud to have an alliance like him kasi ang pinupush din niya katulad ng pinupush natin. So, he is advocating also in his organization for persons with disabilities, lalo na sa economic independence and inclusive employment. So, without further ado, let's call Mr. Jim Nemenyo, Operations Lead of Project Inclusion Network. Hi, Jim!
Hi, Chrissy. Maraming salamat sa
Happy Labor Day!
Happy Labor Day.
Oo,
yes.
Happy Labor Day. So, ayun. So, let's get started. So, May 1 ngayon, very timely na pag-usapan natin yung persons with disabilities as untapped workforce. Pero before we go deeper on that issue and topic, maaari kasing may hindi pa ganun ka-familiar sa Project Inclusion Network or PIN and PBDN kasi medyo associated kayo kay PBDN, di ba? So,
Yes.
I guess siguro this is a very good opportunity for them to know more about you guys.
Alright. Sige. Siguro I'd like to start first by thanking you, Chrissy, for inviting us to this podcast. And
Of course,
and
anytime.
yes, thanks. I'll go straight to introducing yung Project Inclusion. So, ang Project Inclusion ay isang non-profit organization na naniniwala at naninindigan sa kakayahan at karapatan ng mga taong may kapansanan para sa trabaho at mamuhay ng matiwasay. And we do it through implementing programs that are focused on economic empowerment and social inclusion of persons with disability. And itong mga focus areas na to ay ito ang anchor namin. And when it comes to implementing 3 different kinds of programs. And the first one that I'd like to mention about is we implement economic empowerment programs for persons with disability kung saan we facilitate opportunities for people with disability to acquire skills either through Tech Vox scholarships, either through financial assistance for tertiary education, or even continuing work and life skills development. And then we also recently expanded niya sa aspeto ng entrepreneurship. So we also work in community-based entrepreneurship where we work with person with disability-led community-based enterprises and we facilitate opportunities for them to continue growing their organization and also accessing the market and capital. So that's our economic empowerment programs for persons with disability. And continuing that, we also work with businesses. We want businesses to hire persons with disability So we connect persons with disability to businesses who want to hire persons with disability. And we also capacitate these businesses to be able to welcome and transition and include and support persons with disability within their own organization. And in our work with businesses, we were able to organize what we call the Philippine Business and Disability Network. So isa itong buy and for business platform na sinusuportahan ng International Labor Organization, kung saan in the Philippines, Project Inclusion is the secretariat of this network. And in this network, we do support businesses learn from each other in the hopes of being able to hire more persons with disability and effectively work together to promote a more inclusive society. And then the last one that we do is we also engage with government and civil society. Yung primary na paniniwala namin ay government should be able to implement programs and policies that are inclusive and responsive to persons with disability. Malaking bahagi ng trabaho namin dito ay sa aspeto ng policy advocacy at rin sa research. So yun ang mga iba't ibang programa ng Project Inclusion, and we'd be happy to talk about these different programs and what we believe in and what we've learned throughout this conversation. Thanks, Chrissy.
Thank you so much for introducing PBDN and also Project Inclusion. So na-mention mo na yung mga economic and employment programs ninyo for persons with disabilities. Matagal na ba yung kayo sa kayo sa organization and doing this advocacy?
Yeah. The Project Inclusion has been in existence for 9 years. So it initially started off under a corporate foundation, and the Project Inclusion was started with the recognition that we've seen many different initiatives when it comes to supporting persons with disability in their childhood or in their basic education or in their aspect of medical needs. But we've seen that maraming mga parents, maraming mga persons with disability na nagtatanong na what's next? What's next after education? Kumbaga kung ang mga persons without a disability, ang typical next stage after education is employment, bakit hindi nangyayari din yun for persons with disability? So that was the question that's at the heart of the work of Project Inclusion. What can we do with and for persons with disability to be able to effectively support them in the field of employment and even entrepreneurship? So for the past 9 years, I think yun yung sa mga question that's at the heart of what we do in Project Inclusion, and it's something that we continue to try to answer them within our own ways and within our own capacity.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you so much. Please accept my compliment, and I guess yung sector din naman is very thankful na meron kaming dagdag na alliance, actually strong alliance when it comes to inclusive employment, kasi lagi nating sinasabi, ano nga talaga mangyayari sa person with disabilities after mag-aral? Tapos, makakapagtrabaho ba? Or may pupuntahan ba? Kasi syempre, marami na rin tayong persons with disabilities na college graduates, di ba? Hindi na lang, yun, kumbaga, hindi na lang high school. Marami na talagang pumapasok sa college and nakakatapos. And syempre, may mga career path sila or career track na gusto talagang puntahan or gusto nila doon yung direction ng kanilang career. And thank you for what you do. So, about the companies that you work with, kasi mukhang malakas talaga yung PBDN in terms of partnerships, ganyan. May ano yung mga challenges ninyo based on your experience sa 9 years? Ano yung experience ninyo in dealing with companies? Kasi before you can actually refer someone with a disability, you still work on the background muna, diba?
Yes.
So you talk to them, you partner with them, etc. etc. So much talking happening behind the spotlight eh. May naaalala ka ba sa experience nyo na
Yeah.
challenging and yung successes and challenges based on your experience?
Actually, marami. So, pero siguro we'll draw on from we've been working with around 50 plus companies of different sizes and of different industries for the past years that we've been implementing our workforce development and economic empowerment programs. Siguro mas ang napapansin namin na challenges ay una, di pa rin, I think we've made progress when it comes to improving perceptions and removing stigma pagdating sa mga persons with disability in the workforce. But I think it's still there. There's still the perception that people with disability are merely objects of pity and of charity. Pero alam natin na hindi sila objects of charity, hindi sila objects of pity, but rather they're people with dreams and with their own talents and with their own aspirations, alongside with their difficulties that they experience in their day-to-day lives. And coming from these perceptions and from this stigma, meron ding dumadagdag na yung mga aspeto na iba't ibang barriers na naranasan ng mga persons with disability, from applying and even staying and even thriving or even to retirement, and in many different aspects of their employment. And mga iba't ibang mga naranasan may include inaccessibility of documents that they maybe even at the recruitment stage pa lang. Yung job hiring ay image at wala siyang alternative text. So, hindi na makaka-apply ang isang person with disabilities, disabled in the sense na hindi niya ma-access kung ano nakalagay sa image. Tapos meron ding aspeto na pagdating sa mga processes natin, they're not inclusive of persons with disability in a way that either they actively exclude persons with disability from the hiring process, or they inadvertently exclude persons with disability by using either harmful language, or they don't account for the diverse experiences and lived experiences of persons with disability. I think these are just a few of the challenges and barriers.
Of the many.
Yes, that persons with disabilities. So, pero on the other hand naman, dun sa successes, I think we've done a study with the LaSalle University, and we've saw that given the same, comparing the performance of a person with disability with the same position of a colleague without a disability. Halimbawa, they're both finance associates. Comparing the performance of a person with disability to a person without disability, performance and productivity are the same, given that they have the right tools. I think giving employees the right tools is a common experience that should be invested in by any company. And I think from that point alone, we already see that hiring persons with disability is already a good investment for any organization. Not even mentioning yung benefits when it comes to building communication skills, building empathy, building the benefits of building a diverse and inclusive culture where we get to know better our customers, our employees, etc. So, I think we can talk about this all day. But I'll stop there first, and I think these are some experiences that we've had.
Okay, so thank you so much for that. And yes, I agree. Marami naman talagang challenges, and of course, yung convincing part, yung explaining part, it's always a challenge. Kasi, I guess, ang napipick up ko from what you're saying, baka yung companies meron pa rin talaga yung fear of the unknown. Baka may mga ganun sila, no? Kasi uncharted territory, or hindi pa nila kilala tong territory na pinapasok nila. So, there could be fear, there could be worries. Siguro ganun. Kaya, maraming usapan pa yung dapat gawin. Sa side naman ng persons with disabilities, since meron kayong something like job access or access to work program na parang may database, kasi na-review ko yung website, so may data, parang they can apply, and then parang it gets through your job database, something like that.
Yeah.
Sa dami, I'm pretty sure madami na rin yan. Kamusta naman sila? Like, kamusta yung encounter nyo sa bawat isa,
Yeah.
sa person with disabilities? Meron na bang ready ang skills? Meron bang hindi laging natatanggap or what? Ano yung concerns naman on persons with
Yeah.
disabilities, aside ng disability?
I think what we're seeing right now in our work we manage a community of around 1,600 persons with disability of different lived experiences and also different skill sets. I think one of the common threads and also the challenges that we're seeing is they're having a difficult time accessing skill development opportunities. And by this, I mean these that can come in the form of tertiary education, can come in the form of digital skills training or tech walk training. Kasi we know that the current skill development and education system is generally inaccessible to persons with disability. And this also results into persons with disability possibly lacking the skills and even the confidence or even the skills and the confidence to be able to apply to jobs that they feel like match their skills or meet their aspirations as possibly breadwinners or as family members or even just for their own individual future savings. And we feel like this skill gap is something that is continuing to get wider. Kumbaga, mas lumalalim siya. And I think we always say na may rapid transition to new kinds of workforces. Parang merong nakikitang, parang sana hindi maiwan. Sana maging bahagi yung mga persons with disability.
True.
Sa aspeto na to, na to continue to acquire skills for the present and the future workforce. So in summary, I think the systems in place and the opportunities in place for persons with disabilities to acquire skills are lacking, and that results into them having difficulty and compounding it with the stigma and the barriers that they face on a day-to-day basis. Talagang mahirap yung
layers of marginalization na talaga.
Sobrang mahirap talaga for persons with disability.
Looking back sa pandemic, especially when COVID-19 was really on its peak, marami kasing businesses that they already have a business continuity plan. Kasi nga, biglang nag-shutdown lahat ng borders, walang makalipad, lahat 'di ba wala. Mga 2020? So parang there was a forced reboot for companies. I'm just wondering kung ano yung naging experience nyo with persons with disabilities, yung mga na-refer nyo o yung mga under your wings na na-refer na. Well, basically your general knowledge about disability during this time. Kasi, yun nga, may business continuity plan, nandiyan yung flexible working styles, yung forced na yung forced digitized environment, mga ganyan. Lahat kasi to nangyari siya ngayong pandemic, and I guess it's not going away. In fact, habang bumubuti yung lagay ng ating COVID-19, it's, masasabi na parang this gonna be the fad for the years to come. Parang yung flexi working styles and digitized environments, hindi na yan maaalis eh. In fact, it's even getting better. So, I'm just thinking, baka may nalaglag.
That's true, Chrissy. And I think from the experiences of the community that we work with, and we've also received lots of inquiries at the height of COVID between siguro 2020 to early 2021 na parang ang lumabas is persons with disability even before the pandemic. They're the last ones to be hired. Pero pagdating sa mga difficult situations, they're the first ones to be fired or they're the first ones to be laid off.
Oh
And
no.
I think some stories from the persons with disability that approach us asking for support or asking if there are ways that we can facilitate opportunities for them within other workplaces. I think that statement is apparent, yung yung potential reality na yun. So, so that's the one side of it. That last ones to be hired, but typically the
First ones to be fired.
or laid off.
Oo
And
nga eh.
ayun, parang nakakalungkot siya na reality. And on the other, I wouldn't say it's on the other hand, but this is also another thing that we've observed na we've seen we've transitioned into hybrid workplaces or even at that time, at the height of the pandemic, fully remote workplaces. So we've seen that there's a potential opportunity for increased openness for organizations to be able to hire fully remote or remote most of the time na mga team members. And that may possibly open up opportunities for persons with disability who prefer a working environment that's more in their control or possibly that more considers their functional limitations. So, lalagyan ko lang ng caveat yun kasi ngayon bumabalik tayo, di ba, sa mga we've also seen lots of conversations na companies are possibly even forcing their employees to come back to the office agad na parang full 5 days a week, 6 days a week without accommodation or without a possibility for continuing remote work. And posibleng mabalik na naman doon or even push behind further yung opportunities for persons with disability if these things are happening and if we don't if these opportunities continue to parang mawawala yung mga opportunities for remote work, for hybrid work, it may also close that opportunity that we've seen from openness of companies for remote work or hybrid positions. So,
Parang
gusto ko lang sabihin yan,
chicken
yung
and egg.
pero may kinabiat ko. Parang
Oo. Pero parang chicken and egg nga siya, no?
Yes.
Pag ganito siya, ito yung problema. Pag ganito naman siya, ito naman yung kakalabasan. So, parang dito, okay sana for person with disabilities, pero pag ganito, lalaglag na naman. So,
yes.
I guess, parang, correct me if I'm wrong, parang napipick up ko from your sharing na it's very important for person with disabilities to continuously upgrade their skills, to become a multi-skilled person. Kasi parang feeling ko pag multi-skilled, just like any other candidate or applicant, mas mataas pa rin yung chances niya eh. What do you say?
I agree with that. I agree with continuing investing in skills. I think there are a lot of opportunities to build the skills. But siguro I'd like to add a little bit of layer to it na I also would like to recognize na these skill development opportunities also come with time investments and even financial investments. So, mababalik din tayo dun sa parang chicken and egg din, di ba? So, kailangan ng resources para makapag-skills development. Kailangan ng skills development para makapag access ng job that will also get resources. So, ayun. Oo, important nga na makapag-access ng skills development. And maybe, kailangan din na may opportunity for people with disability to have these resources to access skills development. Yeah.
So, paki-elaborate ka ng content to our viewers who are also persons with disabilities na ano ba yung investment na sinasabi? Kasi when we talk about investment, ang lagi kasing lumalabas, the first impulse or yung first thing that comes to mind would be capital.
Yes.
Parang medyo business sounding kasi si investment eh. But from your perspective as organization advocating for us, how do you see, like how would you elaborate further or explain further, make it simpler na ang investment ganito yan?
Maraming, I think, tama yung na-mention mo, Chrissy, that yun nga, sa aspect ng investment, talagang unang naiisip is yung finance side of it, yung pera. And I would I think, yun talaga, malaking part yun. Malaking bahagi yan, malaking consideration yung availability ng pera to be able to participate and attend skills development opportunities or even apply to jobs. But on the other hand, meron ding mga ibang aspeto yung sinasabi nating konsepto na investment. Meron din yan sa aspect ng time. Kung maaring lalabas yan kung ilang oras ang pwede mong mailaan para makapag-attend ng training. Meron din naman yan sa aspect ng and I think by extension yung sa aspeto ng investment, meron din yan sa pagdating sa support community that you have. Sino yung mga pwedeng makatulong sa iyo or sa community mo para matulungan ka na ma-access tong mga opportunities na to at ma-pursue mo yung mga opportunities that you want to be able to pursue. So, we see yung term na investment na multifaceted, pero we'd like to recognize na malaking bagay pa rin talaga dito yung finances.
Of course. Yeah. So for our viewers na persons with disabilities na job hunters din ngayon or shifting to a new career, kung ganun man yung kung nandun man kayo sa ganung situation, I guess I agree with Jim na dapat talaga yung investment natin is laging nandyan. We have to invest sa bagong skills kasi yun nga, mas madaling ma-hire and mas maraming opportunities kapag multi-skilled ka or you're highly specialized on something. I mean, marami naman ding makukuhang opportunities di ba? Marami naman ding mga free courses na pwede nilang kunin around. So, siguro maghanap lang talaga tayo and let's take that opportunity. Lalo na kapag nakita nating free siya or ino-offer siya as a form of scholarship. Kasi, tama si Jim, investment comes with money, pero pag medyo kapos sa money, baka pwede namang maghanap-hanap tayo ng mga opportunities na we can get for free. And let's not take it for granted kasi bihira nga yung mga free opportunities na yun. So we should always grab it kasi nga like what I said, and from HR point of view, kasi syempre yun din yung field ko, HR, pagka multi-skilled ka and you have so much skills to offer, syempre kahit hindi 100% guarantee yun, mataas yung chances lagi na you'll get a job or you would land to a certain opportunity. And who knows, baka yung malandingan mong work, it's the work that you've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
So, ayun, diba?
Siguro, Chrissy, singit lang ako. Okay lang ba mag-plug lang ako? Kasi,
naman, go!
Salamat. Sa aspeto ng skills training, we do have a partnership with IBM. So, we have a partnership called Skills Build, kung saan maaring maka-access ang mga persons with disability ng free digital skills training with certification sa courses such as data analytics, cybersecurity, and customer service, and even web development. So, kung merong mga persons with disability na interested to be able to access this platform, do reach out to us. So, ang Facebook namin, Project Inclusion. Pwede ang email namin, connect@projectinclusion.ph. Pero ulitin ko rin ito mamaya sa dulo ng podcast. So,
Oo naman. Thank you for sharing na meron pala kayong existing program with IBM, yung Skills Build. Kasi that would be very helpful sa mga nag-iisip ngayon, job hunters ngayon, or career shifters, I would say. Hindi naman kasi lahat job hunters. And going back to your partnerships, na-mention mo kanina na you have existing work also with government. Ano yung work na yun na ginagawa niyo with the government? Employment din ba siya? Do you also refer to government agencies or medyo ibang work siya?
We do have partnerships with government na related din to employment, but more on the field of skills development. Actually, medyo continuation siya nung pag-usapan natin kanina. We have a partnership with TESDA, and this partnership with TESDA, supported by the International Labor Organization's Skill for Prosperity Program. Itong partnership na to, is anchored on the belief that accessible pivot activates opportunities for persons with disability. Na when people with disability have the opportunity to participate in technical, vocational, and educational training, na-increase yung capacity and yung opportunities for them to participate in employment. So, itong project na to, particularly focused siya on identifying kung kamusta yung mga karanasan ng mga persons with disability sa access o pag-participate sa TVET or sa mga different TESDA accredited courses. And mula rin ito sa karanasan ng mga persons with disability, we'd like to be able to collaborate and coordinate with TESDA on possibly providing resources and continuing support to training providers, to policymakers on continuing to or improving yung state ng accessibility and inclusion sa practices and policies relating to TVET. Kasi ang end goal natin, gusto natin na mas maraming persons with disability ang makapag-participate and makapag-graduate sa TVET. And sana, kahit anong training center sa Pilipinas ay aabot sa point na ready sila na tumanggap ng persons with disability at walang matataboy na persons with disability dahil lang may disability sila at hindi alam ng training center kung paano sila masusuportahan ng paayos. So yun ang, I would think, partnership namin ngayon with government. But we also work with government sa aspeto ng pushing for representation ng mga youth with disability, sa aspeto ng kung meron silang mga groups or mga programa para sa mga youth, dapat kasama rin ang mga youth with disability. So yun essentially yung mga ginagawa sa ngayon ng mga projects and partnerships with government ng Project Inclusion.
Since you mentioned about youth with disabilities, do you have anything related to youth with disabilities? Parang may project kayo, di ba?
Yes.
About youth.
Yes. We have a project called Kasali Kami. So from the title lang in itself, yung pinaka-goal talaga niya ay maging kasali at kabahagi ang mga kabataang may kapansanan sa usapin ng kabataan, pati rin sa usapin ng kapansanan, pati rin sa usapin ng buong lipunan. We've seen that a lot of potential. We see a lot of potential and the need to be able to support youth with disability leaders around the Philippines. Kasi naniniwala kami na mahalaga ang current generation, mahalaga rin ang next generation of leaders to be able to continue the good work that has been started right now, and also continuing to improve and continuing to advocate for the rights of people with disability. So this project is supported by the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines, and this project focuses on strengthening yung voices ng mga persons with disability through a leadership program. Meron din tayong aspeto doon where we synergize yung voices, where we document the perspectives of youth with disability in different aspects of community life. And then lastly, meron din tayong aspeto ng sharing voices, where we highlight the voices of young persons with disability leaders towards action and also representation of youth with disability in community matters.
Meron ba kayong programs related to college or tertiary education? Meron bang direct program?
Yes. Yes, meron. But it's primarily focused on financial assistance and scholarships to college students with disability. Though it's limit, I would be candid and say limited siya. So depende rin talaga sa support that we receive from our partners. But for the past 2 years, we've supported around 30 college students with disability na maka-receive ng small financial assistance, and also access din to life skills training, paghanda rin sa kanila sa pagtatrabaho.
Sa work.
Yes.
That's nice. So,
Mm.
kumbaga, medyo parang bridging program din pala siya to
Yes,
work.
oo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is really good. Okay. So, is there any other programs that you'd like to share sa audience or sa public about project inclusion before we jump into the last question?
Salamat, Chrissy. Pero I mentioned earlier yung aspeto ng digital skills training na available sa project inclusion in partnership with
Yes.
IBM. So, if may mga interesado, you can always reach out to us via our Facebook page. So, that's facebook.com/projectinclusionph. Or pag sinerch nyo ng Project Inclusion, makikita nyo rin kami. You can also email us, connect@projectinclusion.ph. But beyond the digital skills training, if you feel like, tulad na mention mo kanina, Chris, yung career shifters, or you want to pursue other job opportunities or continuing skills development, we're also happy to welcome you and also get to know you and see how we can support you from there. And I'd like to be candid about gusto ko maging diretso, and I'd like to be upfront and saying na
Sure.
mahalaga sa amin na makilala yung mga persons with disability that we work with. And
Of course.
sa proseso na to, posibleng it will definitely take time. So, we'll ask patience from the people who reach out to us and contact us, but we'll definitely get back to you. So, yun ang sa programa patungkol sa mga persons with disability. But if we also have listeners who are business owners or who are in positions where in positions in larger to medium-sized corporations, we'd be happy to work with you. And if you're interested to welcome or support person with disability employment or implement programs for corporate social responsibility relating to disability inclusion or economic empowerment, we'd be happy to work with you and collaborate with you. So, yun ang mga iba't ibang programa ng Project Inclusion at yun ang mga imbitasyon namin para makapag-collaborate and work with each other. Yeah.
Sobrang dami po niyan at parang menu. So, pili po tayo kung ano yung
Yes.
ano yung fit sa atin, ano yung interesting for us and for business owners nga din or company owners or someone na siguro nasa leadership position din sa isang company na nakikinig sa atin ngayon, nakarating sa kanya tong podcast. Please do reach out to Jim or the Project Inclusion. Baka pwede kayong maging collaborators about something. So, maganda na ma-discuss nyo yung idea nyo with them, lalo na when it comes to inclusive employment for persons with disabilities. Nagsisimula naman po talaga yan sa simpleng pag-uusap and from there everything blossoms, diba? So, any message for the government? Yun ba kasi being part of the civil society group, advocating for us, is there any message or advice or recommendation for our government, especially sa DOLE, kasi DOLE is the one in charge of employment and nasa kanila yung peso, and siguro Civil Service Commission na din since this is the HR of the public sector.
Yeah. Siguro I'll start off with our organizations. Kumbaga, when we try to imagine the future, we imagine a future where for any job application or for any employment process, a person with disability can participate without the need for organizations like us. They can participate because existing policies and programs are in place to be able to support them, for them to be able to share about their skills and demonstrate their potential. And I think ganun din yung hope namin when it comes to working with government and collaborating with government, na we'd like to see more persons with disability get jobs in the government, and we'd also like to see more organizations of persons with disability apply to government funding, to government programs, and I think a major part of that is recognizing that people with disability should be mainstreamed into government programs. And ayun, parang na hindi na lang sanap hanggang, I don't know, parang special initiatives ang mga persons with disability, kundi bahagi sila dun sa mga mainstream na programa, polisiya ng government na recognize sila as potential participants and contributors to the work of building a better Philippines. So I think hindi lang yun sa government, kundi sa lahat, sa businesses,
True.
anyone
Oo.
in places of power. We'd like to see more persons with disability participate in our communities. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your recommendations and advice. Actually, hindi na nga lang siya for the government, but for everyone, kahit sa private sector. And I'd like to share also, kahit ano lang to, parang singit na info lang. Meron tayong Republic Act 10524. Isa sa mga provisions nito ay tungkol sa 1%, at least 1%, minimum 1% sa government, sa any agency, to have persons with disabilities. Of course, we're talking about qualified, competent persons with disabilities, no? Yung i-hire natin, and doon nga nabibilang sa 1%. So, minimum of 1%. And ngayong May 1, gusto rin namin malaman kung may 1% ba kayo or wala.
Yes, tama.
Diba? So, sana. Syempre, kami ni Jim, hindi namin alam yan, yung sagot dun sa tanong na yun. Pero we are hoping na meron nga, may 1% man lang at least sa government, sa bawat government agency actually.
Yes.
Sana may 1% sa inyong workforce na persons with disabilities. And we're hoping na yung 1% na yung would grow more to 2% hanggang sa maraming percent. And we'd be very happy to know kung marami na din ang nai-employ sa public sector employment. Kasi hindi lang naman po kami nagka-campaign or nag-advocate for private employment or private sector employment or businesses or to own a business lang for persons with disabilities. We are also hoping that the public sector employment would be open also for persons with disabilities who are qualified. No, maging public school teacher, 'di ba? So government service 'yan. 'Di ba? And marami pang iba. So before we finally close, again, yung Facebook page, social media pages ng PIN for them to reach you easily.
Ayan. Sige, ang Facebook namin ay facebook.com/projectinclusionph. Ang email namin ay connect@projectinclusion.ph. So, reach out to us and we'd be happy to have a conversation at makilala kayo. At paano tayo makakapag-collaborate and work with each other.
Yes. And nandito din po sa description box ng episode natin yung details ng Project Inclusion. I know maraming beses na nabanggit ni Jim to, pero kung makalimutan natin, pwede naman natin balikan yung description box. Nilagay ko po dito yung Facebook page nila and yung sinabi din ni Jim, yung Connect at Project Inclusion na email. So, para mas madali po ninyo ma-visit yung kanilang social media pages and maka-email sa kanila. Again, thank you so much, Jim, for joining today. Happy Labor Day to all of us.
Thanks so much, Chrissy, for having us.
Oo, thank you for spending your holiday. It's a holiday today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ayan. And again, folks, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until the next episode of I Matter, because inclusion matters. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
On a white background showed a logo laying slant on the screen. The logo stood up, positioned itself in the center, and a light ray shined upon the letters from left to right, which looked like a reflection. The logo is in hexagon shape with red outline, and the inner color is white. The words read,
ASEAN Enabling Master Plan 2025.
Credits appeared. On a black background showed words in pale pink font which reads, I Matter segment would like to thank the following. Chrissy Bista, program host, and one of the consultants of the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan Philippines. Jim Nemino, operations lead, Project Inclusion Network Incorporated. Dr. Rex Bernardo, Consultant, ASEAN Enabling Masterplan Philippines. Jennifer Garcia, Consultant, ASEAN Enabling Masterplan Philippines. Laurel Purcell, Project Director, ASEAN Enabling Masterplan Philippines. Rosie Ferrer, Finance and Admin Officer. Reynaldo Refran, Technical Support and Admin Officer. Kizia Marie Jones Gonzalez, Social Media Support. John Vincent Abihay, Video Editor and Captioning Support. International Foundation for Electoral Systems or IFES. General Election Network for Disability Access or Agenda. Center for Learning and Livelihood Foundation or CALL Foundation. Cameron's Norte Persons with Disabilities Affairs Office. Cameron's Norte State College, Institute of Computer Studies Interns.